Sinha, the Congress says these are diversionary tactics. You do not want to face up and answer to what the reality is in terms of inflation, and all you're doing is adding fuel to the communal fire and aiding rumor mongering.
Good evening, Preeti. Preeti, the spate of riots that you have mentioned in your introductory remarks in Rajasthan, we have compelling reasons to believe that they enjoy the tacit and at times even the overt support of the Congress party in Rajasthan. Look at the ridiculous statements which the Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has made in the last 3 days. Today he says that more of these riots would follow. Now, how is this statement different from what PFI made on the eve of Ram Navami riots, and what followed was what you saw? Till date, Matlub Ahmed, the chief accused, a person who was supporting Congress until that day, is not to be seen. He's absconding, whereas they've arrested 36 people. I don't know for what. Number two, the chief accused in Baran district riot was seen at the iftar party of the CM Ashok Gehlot. Number three, at one point, Ashok Gehlot says, he shrugs off the Jodhpur violence and says, nothing major or nothing significant happened. Why? Because the victims were Manya, a lady called Manya, who was hit with rods, a guy called Deepak who was stabbed with knives because he went out to buy medicines for his father. I mean, is this the attitude of the Congress party? And mind you, this is not a Rajasthan problem. Pan-India, the Congress party has taken a very, is catering to an Islamist audience. A Jharkhand minister virtually warns the Hindu community and says that aap 80% hai, agar kuch hoga to ghata ke liye aap taiyar ho jayenge. Is this the language which a Congress minister makes in Jharkhand? We have seen that immediately after Tawqir Raza made some very inflammatory remarks on the eve of Uttarakhand elections, how he was lapped up by the Congress party. One Congress MLA in Telangana calls for beheading of Jitendra Tyagi, and not a single responsible Congress leader condemned him. Is this the attitude of the Congress party? This is what is propelling these riots, and the Congress is, blaming the BJP for no reason.
Tuhin Sinha, if you're going to look at and count, provocative, bigoted statements made by political leaders on the eve of election, it's a tad bit rich. There's a league of instances that I can recount just in Uttar Pradesh that your leaders have made. So let's tear off that pitch, because none the richer. Possibly the BJP, at least in the recent past, could have a little more. But I'd ask you a question. You said that the Congress caters to the Islamic audience. 2 Muslim men have been beaten up. Their bike has been burnt. This has happened in Banswara. That's Rajasthan. Why would the government, who caters to an Islamic audience, attack the minority community then?
You need to understand the way we deal with people who create arson and violence. The main accused of in Jahangirpuri violence have all been charged under NSA. And I told you how how the main accused in Rajasthan riots end up at the Chief Minister's iftar party. So if you soft pedal these elements, somewhere they will initiate violence which will be retaliated. It's a trend. It's a message which you are sending that we will be soft. Look at the Jodhpur riots itself. We have.
So are you in any which way, Mr. Sinha? Are you in any which way justifying the beating, the assault of these 2 young Muslim boys? Are you justifying that?
Not at all.
Because there's a reaction. You said there will be a reaction to it.
It's
highly worrisome if you are.
If the police responds with unusual lethargy, which it has done in all of these cases, eventually when your house is being attacked somewhere, the community which is being attacked will retaliate. I'm not justifying it at all. It is a very sad thing that the police in Rajasthan has failed to arrest this violence. Had they promulgated, Section 144 on the eve of Eid, and they had reasons to do that, I don't know why they did not do that.
The reasons I will tell you, Mr. Tuhin Sinha, was rumor mongering, which was abetted by your own mayor of Jodhpur. But I'll take your question to Aadil Singh Boparai as well. Aadil Singh Boparai, you're paying the price of appeasement. That's what the Congress's charge is.
I think that's a completely bogus charge. We're a party which contests elections. We're a party which seeks power. Now, please tell me, this bogey of appeasement, why would we do anything that is not conducive to a larger section of society or tends to alienate a larger section of society? It just does not add to reason. It just does not add up, number one. Number two, the fundamental distinction between us and the BJP is that we don't see victims through the lens of religion. We see victims as victims. And we have to come to the aid of victims regardless of their religion. But Preeti, let me tell you, I've been on your debates for the past couple of years. The BJP is beyond repair. The DNA of the BJP is hate and divisiveness. We can continue to have these eloquent debates. The point is, this is what the BJP stands for. Ultimately, and I say this as a citizen, I'm saying this in the core of my sensibilities, the people of this country have to realize that time has arrived. We need to realize that the BJP is pushing us into this spiral of violence and hate.